I have about $150 here in my hand. This is my formal offer to the France family. If you guys are willing to sell your share to me, just let me know. I have an email you can contact me at, and I will gladly take over NASCAR. All jokes aside, how is everyone doing? This is probably the biggest news in NASCAR history since the death of Dale Earnhardt. And if it does go through, this probably will be the biggest event in NASCAR history since the death of Dale Earnhardt. So NASCAR is up for sale. It's pretty much confirmed at this point, and I'll explain why it's pretty much confirmed. And let's just go right into it. So Reuters came out with an exclusive article saying that the France family, which are the majority owners of NASCAR, we never had an exact amount of the percentage of shares they hold in NASCAR because it's private, but I think ESPN reported that it was around 75%. A couple years ago, and that Brian France sold his share last year. So, but again, none of that's public. So in the Reuters article, it states, the France family, which controls NASCAR, is working with investment bank Goldman Sachs Group to identify a potential deal for the company, three sources said, cautioning that the deliberations are at exploratory stage and no agreement of any kind is certain. The sources asked not to be identified because the deliberations are confidential, and NASCAR and Goldman Sachs declined to comment. So NASCAR declined to comment when the article came out, but then today, NASCAR President Brent Dwyer, who I actually really like and really support, and somewhat feel bad for right now, because a lot of this is going to get heaped onto his shoulders, and he's going to have to control the marketing aspect of everything. The AP and Jenna Fryer put out an article stating that the president of NASCAR told employees on Tuesday that the France family, that owns a majority stake in the nation's top auto racing series, quote, remains dedicated to the long-term growth of our sport, following a report of a possible sale. Brent sent a memo to staff one day after a media report said the France family was exploring a potential sale of its NASCAR holdings. The AP received a copy of the memo from a person who wanted to share it anonymously due to the sensitive nature of the topic. Brent wrote in the memo that NASCAR does not comment on industry rumors, but did not specifically address a possible deal by the France family, and went on to say that for over 70 years, the France family has worked hard to invest in the sport of NASCAR, including our recent acquisitions of ARCA. NASCAR acquired ARCA not too long ago, and that's really important because if you want to sell, let's say you want to sell anything that you own, you want to gather assets. So NASCAR has a good amount of assets, with even tracks included and series. So if you acquire ARCA, you're just adding on to the assets that you have. You could sell for more. So that's where the buy of ARCA actually comes in and seems like it makes sense now, because it was kind of odd to hear that NASCAR bought ARCA, but then you hear this news and it's like, this makes sense from a business side. Now, obviously with the France family selling, who would buy? So we go back to the Reuters article where it states, NASCAR could attract interest from media companies and private equity firms. According to the sources, the company's exact valuation could not be established, though the sources said it could be worth several billions of dollars. Just to compare to another auto racing series, Formula One, obviously everyone knows Formula One, went for $8 billion to Liberty Media. So in the article, Reuters also states that in 2017, Liberty Media spent more than $8 billion, including debt, to acquire International Motorsports League F1, ending a long-running saga surrounding the sport's ownership and potential flotation. And the new owners have shaken up management, put a sharper focus on new media markets, and boosted its presence in North America. That's where the news of a second F1 Grand Prix coming to Miami and coming to the United States makes sense, because Liberty Media buys F1, they want a stronger presence in America, so they put 2 Grand Prix in the United States. So that's where this all is really starting to make sense now. Just how much of NASCAR will be sold? Well, remember, the exact ownership has never been revealed. So there's not public numbers that show this person has this amount, this person has this amount, and the amount of shares that go around. In the AP article that Jenna Fryer wrote, the exact ownership stake has never been revealed. ESPN reported the France family owns 74% of the stock, though Wall Street Journal reported last year that Brian France sold a stake in the stock car series. However, Jim France committed to motorsports when he announced the purchase of ARCA. So it all just makes sense as to why Brian France has not been seen or shown. He doesn't care. We all know this. He doesn't really care about the family industry. His father and his grandfather did, but he just didn't want it. And that happens in family-run businesses. Sometimes, the son just doesn't want to do it. So gathering all this information and putting it all together, basically the gist is NASCAR's up for sale. And NASCAR, they could have just come out and said, no, it's not. That would have been very simple to do it. But Brent said that he does not comment on industry rumors. However, he kind of did comment on industry rumors when the memo got leaked. and that the France family is quote unquote dedicated. That's not dismissing any of the reports. The reports are very likely to be true, and this has been rumored for a while now that NASCAR could be up in sale. There was an article back in January about NASCAR possibly being up for sale. So none of this is really surprising. It's that this is the first time that's really gotten out in the public eye. Fox Business Channel got a hold of it, and one of the media reporters just went in on NASCAR and on Brian France and the France family.
Basically, Brian France destroyed what his grandfather and his father built. The value of that sport has diminished significantly because they just don't care about racing. They don't care about the fans.
I mean, she didn't hold back. That was, oh boy. I know you guys want my opinion on it. To be fair, I don't really know what to think of right now. I'm very happy that it's up for sale. I personally don't think the France family has done a good job at all over the last couple of years, over the last decade that they've been in charge of the sport, including Brian France. If it is true that Brian France did sell his stake, it just makes sense. He doesn't seem like he wanted to be part of NASCAR anymore. That's just how it is. Sometimes in a family-run business, that's how it is. I'm going to be respectful, though. I'm going to just let this play out. I'm not going to really comment on a lot of things just because I don't want to just say something stupid. You know, it's very obvious that, in my opinion, I think NASCAR needs new owners. I think that's very, very clear. I don't think some of the people within the sport need to be just completely like uprooted, like Brent Dwyer, for example, as the new NASCAR president. I think he's doing a fantastic job. He's just getting all this backlash right at him because the France family is not putting themselves forward. So that's a problem that I feel very poorly for Brent. It is his job, and it is what it is. But you know, I feel like as an owner of a sport, you should probably just come out and be a little bit more at the forefront. But Brian, if he did sell his stake, then it makes sense as to why he's not at the forefront. Jim France showed up a little bit earlier this year to comment on the acquisition of ARCA, but it does make sense if ARCA was just bought for assets, that's why they did it. They're going to say they're dedicated to motorsport, but are they really? This all plays with the bigger picture of attendance and ratings and drivers retiring and just the interest in the sport dipping, the changes that have been made over the format and the point system and the stages and the racing and everything that really no one asked for. I can say for a fact that no one asked for an elimination format in 2014. It just kind of randomly came out of nowhere. I still remember the day it was announced, and I was like, what the heck is this? No one really asked for it. It just kind of got put upon on us. So it's those kind of changes that really brought fans and everyone within the sport to be very upset and then ditch it, because over the last 3 years, you've seen ratings decline nearly over a third, almost a half for ratings from, let's say, the Daytona 500 in 2014, 2015 to the Daytona 500 in 2018. So there's a lot of people ditching the sport. It makes sense that when the cash cow of NASCAR decides to go down, that the France family might want to sell. It all makes sense. It's not surprising. I just hope that whoever decides to come in, most likely a media group or someone, a very large company, maybe Comcast has been rumored over the last year, but we don't know about that. Just whoever comes in, that they inject some new life into the series. Overall, there's just a disconnect between the top of the sport and the fans, and I think the France family just has not done a good job of connecting that fan base with the sport itself, and it is what it is. It happens. Hopefully the sport is up for sale. I think, in my opinion, it's good that it's up for sale. Could go from anywhere between $3 to $5 billion. I hope that is true, and I hope that it happens. I really do. I think the France family, you know, every family-run business could come to an end at any point. It is what it is. You know, the guy that started it and the sons and whatever goes on, it could be different. People have different perspectives of things, and it just isn't working right now with the France family. So hopefully it's sold. That's what I'm going to be hoping for, and that we get some new owners that can shake it up a little bit, maybe have their own mindset of how things should be, and maybe listen to the fans as well, because I think the fans... No, the NASCAR fan base is definitely diverse in terms of what they want. So there's a lot of different areas coming in and out. Everyone has their own opinion. That's how it is in life. Just hopefully the new owners have their perspective of what they want. Also take into the fans' maybe mindset and do it. But first, it has to be sold. A sport like this going up for sale is very rare. It happened with F1, and now it's happening with NASCAR, but it is very rare. So there will be people that are interested. I'm pretty sure in that. It's just going to be a good amount of negotiations that go on. It's definitely news. It's definitely news. This is not fake news. This is definitely real news that Reuters, the AP, Fox have all come out and been able to confirm. Sources, multiple sources been able to confirm. So it's definitely real. NASCAR obviously won't comment on it. because it's a PR thing. They have to be able to control the PR. So let's just see how everything goes, and I'm kind of glad that it's up for sale. So guys, let me know what you think about the news. Comment down below. I know I maybe didn't give my opinion too much. That's just because I'm just going to wait just a little bit to see what happens with everything. I think most of you guys know where I stand. I don't prefer the France family to have a majority stake in NASCAR. So let's just see what happens. If you guys like the video, make sure to like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Hope you are having a fantastic day, and peace out.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I tried, my love, she keeps me warm.